Hi everyone, this is Grace, and I'm here, excuse me, to do a craft along, chat along, whip and chat, craft and chat, whatever you want to call it is fine. I purchased this clock, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago is when I got it, and I had several say, would you do the clock on camera? And I'm like, sure thing. We're going to start out with putting some of these beautiful stones down. These have crystals. Beautiful, beautiful pieces in here. I just have them in baggies because there are actually only 6 colors. So, very simple. But look how pretty they are. Anyway, I showed that in another video. You don't need to see that again. I have more than one tray out here that I'm going to be using. I have 3 tins that will go here. So it looks like I have more 3 tins than I do of this one, because these number 2s go in these little bitty circles here. So I'm going to actually go ahead and put 3 tins in here, and we'll start with those, do a few of those first. I'm just using my smaller trays right now because this is not a real big piece, and these are rounds. Rounds are normally easier. So I've got all these over here. I'm just going to put them out of the way until I'm ready to use some of those, but I will place the different ones so you can see what they look like on here. I already have my light board on. As you can see, it's lit up. Without it, it would look like this, which is more difficult for me to see when I'm diamond painting. Even though these are very large, it's just easier for me to see it, and I think maybe you can see a little bit better too. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you say, you know, leave that thing off. Mostly because this one is just a big one. Usually I'm doing very tiny ones, but let's get started on this. I will probably not get finished with this while I'm doing this. We'll see how far I can get. But what I'll do is I'll finish the rest of it off camera. Then when it comes time to put the clockwork pieces together, and I'll need to mount this first and then put these on, I'll show you how I do that, because I'm still working on trying to figure it out. I'm thinking I'm going to put this on a foam board and then punch a hole and put these together inside it. But you'll find out when I do, probably. So let's get started. I was also tagged by the lovely and funny Gwen of Everything Gwenny. So check her channel out if you haven't done so. And thanks, Gwen, for tagging me to do this. I have a few questions here, so you're going to find out I may be kind of a boring person, but we'll get along on this, and let me get my things started here. I've got 2 drill pins loaded with wax right here. As you can see, he's already taken a few bites out of it. And I'm going to start working on this while I'm answering questions. Let me get started so I kind of get a going on before I start answering questions. Okay. As you can see, this is just a partial. And I normally start from the bottom right since I'm right-handed, so I don't have over here putting my hand into the sticky stuff. Okay, all of these black rings around here are the blacks. So let's see how that goes before I start chatting about, well, answering the questions. So I don't, we'll see how well I can look at the questions and do this at the same time. This is easy to do. As you can see, I'm just putting them inside those little holes. Just black. Very simple. Okay, I think I'm in the camera. I try to pull it back enough where you could see what I'm doing for quite a while. And let me get these things a little flatter. Okay, let's see if that'll work. Yeah, and try not to pick them all up at the same time. I think I'm going to use this one. I switch back and forth what I use, but I really do like these. I've told you about these on another video that I ordered these from AliExpress. They sell them in rounds, the little tips in rounds and in squares. I have both, but I find that the rounds work well on both square and round paintings, so I don't use the squares very often. Occasionally I'll use it on the square ones, but I can't tell that it really makes a big difference between using the round and the square. But you know, everyone's different. You can get one and see which one you like, but it picks them both up just fine. Okay, we're getting a few of these babies laid down. I love the curly cues in this. I love shines. I'm a glittery girl, so I had to get, of course, something that had the beautiful Aurora Borealis in it. And I'll put some of those down also, so we can see what those are going to look like. And I'll put some of these big ones. A couple of these I won't need. I don't think I'm going to even need my drill pen for that. That'll just go down by hand. Well, let me see if I can start answering some of these questions. I have them on my phone over here. And I'll try not to get out of sync of which question I'm on. Okay, number one, ask, do you like blue cheese? The simple answer is no, I do not. But my husband and my daughter do. So if I ever happen to get a salad that has blue cheese sprinkled on it, I very gladly give it to them. I try not to get anything with blue cheese on there. I just think it's sour, and I don't like sour cheese, I guess. My daughter and I went to a cheese tasting. It was wine and cheese. I found out why they had the wine. Well, for me anyway. I guess I'm not a huge connoisseur of cheeses, but they had some cheeses that were just delicious, just wonderful. You know, my cheddar cheese that I love, and they had some others. I do like feta cheese, but we got to the goat cheese that was, I believe they said it wasn't processed, it was more natural cheese. Okay, when we got to that, I smelled it first. I smell my food sometimes, especially when I'm a little afraid of putting it in my mouth. Okay, I smelled it. It smelled just like it would smell if you walked out into a barnyard. Yes, it did. It smelled like goats to me. So, I'm like, okay, I'll take a little tiny taste. So I did. And I thought, surely it's not going to taste like it smells. So I took that little bite. And lo and behold, the explosion of a barnyard filled my mouth. I'm like, oh my God, give me my wine. Okay, I got that little, thank God I didn't take a big bite. My daughter liked it. She's more of a connoisseur of those types of things. I'm just not into that stuff. So she very gladly ate it. Other people were eating it saying, oh, how wonderful it was. And I'm going, oh my God, am I the only weirdo here? Maybe I should never go to a cheese tasting again and show my ignorance. But there were some that I did like. But no, I do not like blue cheese. It's very salty and sour to me. Number two, ask Coke or Pepsi. I very seldom ever drink soft drinks. I'm usually drinking water, or I use Crystal Light in my water and drink it like that. But when I drank more, I liked Pepsi better than Coke. So that's the answer there. Do you own a gun? Well, yes. I live in Texas, and my father was in World War II. He was in the Marines, and he made us learn how to shoot a gun. He had us shoot a shotgun, and it was the 12 gauge, I believe. I don't know, but it has more of a kick than, let's say, a 20 gauge. If you're not familiar, the higher the gauge, the less the kick. So, yes, we do own guns. My husband used to be a hunter. He hunted deer and things, and he doesn't anymore. He's gotten to where he loves animals so much, we have basically almost a bird conservatory in our yard. He builds their bird houses to specific specifications. I'm just waiting for the day he puts little TVs and sofas in there. Yes, it's that bad. But yes, we do own guns. I haven't shot one in years and years and years. But we're in Texas. Most people own a gun. So that's the answer to that question. Okay, number 3. No, I'm sorry, number 4. What flavor Kool-Aid? Okay, I don't drink Kool-Aid anymore, but when I was a kid, I loved tropical punch. And in the Crystal Light, I like the fruit punch also. Mostly I drink the raspberry green tea in the Crystal Light. But that tropical punch, you couldn't hardly beat that. Okay, number 5. What do you think of hot dogs? Well, I think hot dogs are tasty. I very seldom eat them. I know they are supposed to be really bad for you. That's why I don't eat them very often. I'm trying to eat better. But I used to love to put, I get the beef hot dogs. I used to love to put chili and mustard and pickle relish on there and eat them up. Haven't had a hot dog in quite some time because my husband became a vegetarian. So that's a whole nother topic. About, oh gosh, has it been 3.5, 4 years? He went to the doctor and his levels for his cholesterol were kind of high, and his blood pressure was kind of high, and he was like, I'm not taking any kind of medication. So he became a vegetarian, and we tried the soy hot dogs, and well, he doesn't even want that. So because you really need the chili and everything else with it. So I do like hot dogs. I very seldom eat them, but they're delicious, I think. You know, maybe they're not good for you, but you know, take everything in moderation, just like everything else that we do. Okay, next question. Favorite TV show? Okay, I'm kind of strange. I don't watch TV a whole lot. I'm more on YouTube, and well, I guess Netflix could be considered TV. But I actually enjoy watching you guys on YouTube, those of you who make videos. I also enjoy Call the Midwife, excuse me, on Netflix. And it's Anne with an E, which is also on Netflix. The second season, I think, just started. I need to watch that. It's from Anne of Green Gables. It's based on that, and I love that movie. So I do like to watch American Ninja Warriors. That's kind of neat. You have got to have some strength to do that. I watch those people, and I'm just fascinated by how they are able to do the things they do, and I'm thinking, wow, you are tough. Never in a million years would I have ever been able to do the things that those people do. And they have women on there also now, so hey, go girls. I also, well, my husband likes to watch sports a lot. And I let him go ahead and watch his sports because I'm usually crocheting or diamond painting. So it doesn't really matter to me. So as I said, sometimes I binge watch things on Netflix. Some things are just crazy things. I don't know if any of you have watched Jane the Virgin. That's It's kind of silly, but it's kind of funny in some ways. I watch that. I don't remember how many seasons are on that, but it's a silly show. And I liked Drop Dead Diva. That is no longer on, but it's on Netflix. Well, let's see. I do like to watch some of the cooking shows, like the challenges. So that's mostly it, I guess. I watch a lot of YouTube, and then some things on Netflix. So not real exciting or interesting like some of the ones I've heard you have really fantastic shows that you like to watch. I'm just not in that group. I do like to watch some of the old classics, like I Love Lucy and Leave It to Beaver, and things like that. Bewitched. Okay. So that was favorite TV show. Now I'd ask for favorite movie. Okay. My favorite movie is probably The Wizard of Oz. I've always loved it. My daughter loved it when she was a little girl, so we watched it many, many, many times. I love classic movies. I watch if I had to say one of my favorite channels on TVs, it would be TCM, Turner Classic Movie Station, because I love to watch the old movies. To me, they seem to have more of a plot. I mean, there are some good movies out there today, but I just like the others. I like Gone with the Wind, you know, some of the classics. There was one that, I like Stephen King's Misery. Now that was a real, I don't know. When she hobbled him, that left a big impression in my mind. I also like, well, let me see. It's hard to. Oh, Olivia de Havilland did one, and it was called The Heiress. I loved that movie also. Really good movie. She was very wealthy. She was not very pretty to look at. And to me, she looked fine. I just didn't have makeup on her. But it was based on a book, and I did read the book also, and the movie was very, very closely related to the book. Very nice. So this fellow falls in love with her, and she is just totally in love with him. Her father is a doctor, and he has a lot of money. They're very, very wealthy. And he tells her, and basically he tells her that she's not pretty. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But his wife died, I believe, giving birth to her, and he always talks about how beautiful his wife was, and basically compares her as to not being very pretty. The father tells her that the only reason this guy is in love with her is for her money, and she doesn't believe it. Well, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it really is a good one if you have a chance to see The Heiress. I do not know if it's on Netflix, but I really enjoyed that. I like a lot of Olivia de Havilland movies. I like some of the Bette Davises, and just the classics. Okay, moving on. What do you drink in the morning? Now, you're going to think this is weird. I drink water in the morning. That's what I have. I usually eat it's like a protein bar type thing. It's called Oatmega, and it doesn't have as much fat and sugars as some of the other ones do. And that's normally what I eat. I will, sometimes if I'm in the mood, I might make an egg. Of course, I can't do that. My husband won't eat eggs. Even though he's vegetarian, not vegan, he still doesn't want to eat eggs. But he'll eat yogurt. But that's mostly what I have. And I drink water. Okay, I'm boring. I'm sorry. Number 9. Can you do a push-up? I've got to laugh at this one. I've never been able to do a push-up in my entire life. Ever. So, Of course, the answer is no to that. When I was younger, I could do the ones, I guess, from your knees, you know, like I guess they call them girl push-ups or the easy push-ups, whatever. I could do those. Nowadays, I'd fall flat on my face. I'd go to do that, you know, to bend down. I'd go ahead and just face plant right into the floor. So I could go down, but the push-up part, nope, can't do that. Okay, now let's see what's next. Favorite piece of jewelry? Well, of course, that would be my wedding ring and engagement ring. My favorite hobby. Okay, I cannot just have one hobby. Right now, my favorite thing to do is diamond paint. But I also do a lot of crocheting. And those of you who also crochet, I'll have a crochet video up before you know it. Right now, I'm just going away at this diamond painting, and I'm still working on my daughter's 60 by 90, almost 2/3 of the way done, and it is gorgeous. But in between times, I may work on a smaller one of these, or I will crochet. I'm working actually on a pineapple shawl for a friend. She wanted something black and kind of open, so I did that. Other things I enjoy doing is going for walks in the woods. I haven't done that as much lately. I need to get my rear end out there. It's been so hot. But we're in September now. I'm hoping for some cooler weather. My husband will get up to go walking Saturday mornings, and he's out ready to go at 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, you go ahead. I'll see you when you get back. I would rather go like around 7:30 isn't too bad, but it starts getting pretty hot at this time, and where we live in Texas, it's pretty hot. So he goes ahead and goes, and we have 3 dogs. We also take them for short little walks in the evening before we go to bed. Other hobbies, goodness. Oh, reading. I love to read. Yeah, I will read almost anything. I love all genres. So when I've read enough of mysteries, or I might do a psychological thriller, just depends. Sometimes on my mood. And I have read some romance novels. You know, something light and easy to read. So, you know, I will read. I used to sit and read the cereal box when I was a kid. I always had to have something. And that's the same thing when I'm watching TV, or usually sports, or I'm watching some of the things that I enjoy seeing, some of the movies. I either have to be diamond painting or crocheting. It's hard for me to sit without doing something. I've never been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD or whatever, but maybe I do. I don't know, because I like to be doing something instead of just sitting there. I've even had a book and be reading it during the commercials. Excuse me, I've got this drainage, and I'm taking all my medication, and it's not helping me today. Alright, let's look at the next question. Oh, the next one was, do you have ADD? Woo! Well, I've got my fan on in here. That's probably not a good idea, but it is warm. And I'm in my craft room with the door closed. And I think I kind of answered it. I can sit and work on something for hours if it's something you really like. So I probably do have some, because I like to be doing other things while I'm doing things. Oh my gosh, when I was teaching school, when we would give the state test in Texas, we've had several different state tests. It's STAR right now. I don't know what they'll call the next one. And you would have to sit there. They said you may not do anything but sit and watch the kids. You know, you walk around the room. You can walk around the room so many times. And I know some kids get nervous if you're standing over their shoulder. So sometimes you might stand at I'd stand at the front sometimes. Sometimes I sit in a chair at the front. Oh my gosh. It nearly killed me to not be able to do something while I was watching the kids take that test. And I felt so bad for the kids. I mean, it's all you can do not to say. Well, I did go around and I'd pat them and say, do your best, honey. Because they do get so nervous over those tests. It's not fair. And I'll just say it. It isn't fair. Those tests do not show anything as far as I'm concerned. And they need to get rid of them. That's just my opinion. And if you're a parent and you have your children coming home nervous wrecks about the test, I am so sorry for you. It's awful. It's not right. That's not checking anything. What they do every day in school is more of what you need to go by, not what they do on some test that they are, you know, they're given 4 hours to do the test. Most finish it before that time, but you know, you feel like, oh, I'm being timed. I better not take too much time on this question. That's just not right. I don't like being tested and timed. I don't like being timed on things that I do. Like if I was doing these diamond paintings and I had to time myself, I'd be like, no, that's not fun for me. That would be a no way. So I do feel so bad for the children. Oh, okay. Getting off on a tangent. There goes my ADD, I guess. Do you wear glasses? Yes, I do wear glasses. I've worn glasses since the 2nd grade, and I talked about this in my last chat about how I probably was born blind because I could not even see the E on the huge E on the chart when I went for my first examination in 2nd grade. Sometimes I even wear 2 pairs of glasses when I'm doing my diamond painting and have those little tiny symbols. And yes, my glasses are progressive lenses, so I should be able to see close, but you know, if you guys who do the diamond painting, you know some of those symbols are kind of hard to tell what they are, and they're very close together. I also have the magnifiers you wear around your head, but these seem to work better for me because when I turn my head with the other ones, I get kind of nauseous. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or what, but mostly that's what I will wear, are these reading glasses. I don't need it for this one because this one is it's pretty large. And I have got these little diamonds just everywhere. Put this down here where I normally keep my things, and I'll scoop this up a little bit. I usually keep them here to keep that kind of thing from happening. But, you know, sometimes you just think, oh, I'm going to do this today. And it's like, you should have. Okay, next question. Favorite cartoon character? I love Betty Boop. I just think she's adorable, but also sexy. I've always loved Betty Boop. She's just so cute. Of course, I like Bugs Bunny, because that was kind of popular when I was growing up. My dad did not let us watch cartoons or pretty much watch anything we wanted to on TV. I had 2 brothers and a sister. And what we would do was when he was at work, we would watch what we wanted to on TV. And we would kind of keep a lookout to see when he was coming. Let me tell you, when we'd see that car pulling into the driveway, you would think that we were a bunch of roaches running when the light has been turned on in a roach-infested room or whatever. Yes, we were scurrying around to get the heck out of there before Dad came in there and saw us wasting our time on TV. We were only allowed to watch the things he wanted to watch, which mostly included war movies, cowboy shows. We watched every John Wayne movie that you can imagine. All the war movies. I think that's one reason I don't really care to watch war movies today. I just got, you know, you don't like being made to have to do anything. He also made us watch Lawrence Welk. Oh, dear God. Y'all come on in here. Lawrence Welk is on. Here, you know, inside going, whoo, yay, woohoo. Okay, I get so far off of these questions. I'm sorry. I guess that ADD, ADHD is kicking in full blast today. But, so I also, when my daughter was growing up, I got to let her watch all of those different things. So I enjoyed the Care Bears when she watched it, and the Smurfs, and the Little Elves. But Betty Boop is my favorite. So moving on. Three things you drink regularly. Okay, well, all of you know I drink water regularly. I also drink Crystal Light in my water. Sometimes I'll drink it plain. Sometimes I need a little bit of something, and I already told you my favorite was raspberry tea. I also like the peach mango, and I'll sometimes drink the fruit punch when not going anywhere and don't mind my mouth getting red. And I like herbal teas. It's been hot, so I haven't really drunk too many of those. Sometimes I'll fix it and then put ice in it, and sometimes I make smoothies, my own smoothies, and I'll drink those. But that's mostly it. Okay, current worry. Well, a lot of you know that I had canceled doing a live because there was an emergency in my family, and it was my brother. My current worry is him, because he has had lymphoma in the past. He has had septic shock in the past, and he has had skin cancers in the past. Anyway, he went in for a PET scan, a regularly scheduled PET scan. I don't know how often he goes now. And several areas lit up on his body. In his abdomen, his head, and I think there were maybe a couple other areas. I'm not quite sure. But they were telling him his lymphoma might have come back. Well, during the time he had his lymphoma, his lungs became very scarred, and they are telling him he will need a double lung transplant, which he is saying he will not do. He just doesn't care to have it done, and you know, that's all on him. He has 3 grown children, and he has a 16-year-old son, and all of it is very scary. Of course, he has his wife. But they did find out he had skin cancers. He has one behind his ear, one on his cheek, and one on his forehead. They're going to do surgery to remove those. His other skin cancer, they had to dig really deep on the back of his neck to remove it. But they have said after he has these removed and they have healed, they will do radiation on him. So that is the plan right now. Then they will do another PET scan to see if those lighted areas are still there, because the places where they've lit up, he said cannot be checked. They, I guess, can't do a biopsy or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So that is my biggest fear right now. My biggest worry is my brother. So I appreciate so many of you commented and said you were thinking of me and my family, and the prayers are so appreciated. You guys are so fantastic. I just love it. And when I say I love you guys, I'm not just mouthing something off. I really do. And when I read your comments, let me tell you, I get such a warm feeling inside. I'm like, these people really care. And it'll bring tears to my eyes sometimes. I mean, just to know that there are people around the world who enjoy the same things I do, who really care. I mean, I know some people say, yeah, it's just words. It's more than just words to me. It means that you gave a thought, at least. You had to have given a thought in order to have answered what I had written. You actually even watched that little video to even know that it was about my brother. So I want to thank you so much. And those of you who would you please keep us in your thoughts and prayers? It's still a big concern, and I will try to keep things updated as I know, because I don't even know when he's having the surgery. My brother is one of those. He was in the Marines. He was a runner, always very healthy, but he's one of those not complaining sort of people. But he is hilarious. He is one of the funniest people I know. When he and his wife get together, he will say the funniest things, and she always has a funny comeback. It's so much fun. But when he wrote to me the other day, he said, waiting at the doctor's office, he said he felt like a little kid sitting in the principal's office waiting for the news. You know that you're in trouble. But I thought that was a perfect example of how he felt. Okay, let's move on to the next question. My current dislike. Okay, I'm going to tell you my current dislike is the hate people are showing each other in this world. Whether it's because of people's size, their color, their religion, whatever, that something is different about a person. I am so sick and tired of seeing people bash other people. I do not understand it. I don't know why. We need to have more love and care in this world, and that really bothers me. I guess maybe because I taught school for so long, I wanted my kids getting along in class. That was a big thing for me, and they knew it, and we were like a family most of the time in class. Whatever happened somewhere else, they knew when they came to my room, we were going to try to have it peaceful, and we're going to love each other, you know. You don't hate you might not like what they're doing. Like, you know, if somebody's sticking you with a pencil, you might not like what they're doing to you, but you don't hate that person. You can ask them to quit, and most of the time they will. A lot of times they're just doing it just to get a rise out of you. So that's one thing. I remember one year I taught 17 years, third grade, 17 years junior high. One year in one of my English classes, this was 8th graders, I had, it was at the end of the day, and one of the girls was called out of class to go home. And her boyfriend was also in that classroom, and he was one that would be one that got in trouble. He always worked for me and always respected me. Anyway, when he said, "Can I go down with her?" and I said, "No, you can't, because they didn't call your name. It was for her." And I heard him, and he mostly mumbled it under his breath. He said, "Bitch." Did I react? No, I didn't. I just went right on with whatever we were doing. And because a lot of kids, that's how they talk at home. But that day, after school, he came back to my room, and he apologized to me for saying what he did. He said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." And I said, "You know what? I knew you didn't mean it. You know, don't make a big deal out of things that are minor." Now, if he'd come up and slapped me in the face, you know, that might have been a different story. But you've got to show respect for each other. I think that is lacking in our society, respecting each other. Okay, let me get off of my high horse there and move on. Favorite place you like to be? Okay, some of you I know mentioned exotic places and things, and I will have to tell you my favorite place to be is at my daughter's house, because she lives, it takes between 4.5 5 hours, and I don't get to see her very often. She works full-time. Her husband works full-time. It's a long trip. But when we're together, it is just wonderful. I love my daughter, and I love doing things with her. So right now, that's where I would like to be, visiting her. We go visit. She'll take me yarn shopping and all kinds of things. There's a lot of things to do up around Dallas. I live in a little tiny town of about 5,000 people. And if you know, I live in Livingston, Texas. And if you don't know that, that's where Ella of Kicking Cancer's Butt and Diamond Painting, she's from there. You can ask her what Livingston is like. There's not a lot to do around here. We have the lake, and I do enjoy going and sitting out at the lake and taking walks. But right now, I would like to be at my daughter's because I have not been to her house since last October when we went to the Texas State Fair, and that was so much fun. Okay, moving along. Okay. How did you bring in the new year? Oh, this cracks me up. Staying at home with my husband. We sometimes watch the ball drop in New York. And then we have people all around us who are shooting off fireworks. We'll go outside and watch theirs sometimes. We don't do anything fancy. We don't go out. We don't go drinking and things like that. One of the coolest New Year's that I've done, this was just a few years ago, I guess. My brother and sister-in-law live right next door. And my sister-in-law is from Russia. And they have a very cool custom that I got to participate in one year. They invited us over. A lot of times she goes and visits a friend that's also from Russia for New Year's. But we were invited to go over there. And what you do is you write on a slip of paper something that you hope or wish for in the coming year. Then you light it on fire. I'm trying to remember this correctly. If anybody else knows this custom, because like I said, it's been a few years. We lit that piece of paper on fire, and you only have a few seconds. I don't know if it's until the clock finishes chiming 12 chimes. I don't think it was even that long, maybe even 15 seconds. But I remember we stuck it into our we had bubbling wine. Of course, you have to have that. You dip it in that. You have to put it in your mouth, what's left of it, and you chew it and have to have it swallowed within a certain period of time. Maybe that was before the clock finished chiming 12. I can't remember for sure. And you could drink it down. You had to drink your glass of wine down, all in this amount of time. And if you did that, what you wished for is supposed to come true. I don't even remember what I wished for, but it might have come true. I don't remember. But I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to put some of these little Aurora Borealises on these little places here. Ooh, pretty, pretty. Oh, gosh. Let me put a few more on here before I try to show it to you, so that you have several to look at. But they are beautiful. And then I'm going to put some of the bigger ones on there. Okay, well, anyway, didn't do much this year for New Year's, but I had to tell you about that one. Where would you like to go? Well, I've kind of answered that just a minute ago. I'd like to go to my daughter's house and see her. Spend some time talking and shopping and all that other good stuff at places where there are to shop that is not just Walmart. That's pretty much what we have here. That's why I do a lot of online shopping. Okay, let's see what's next. Name 5 people who should do this tag. Well, pretty much everybody I know has done this tag. The only person I can think of that might watch this, I don't know if she will or not, is Sonia Jones Crafty Life. She does diamond paintings, she does crochet, she does all types of crafts. So if you're interested in different types of things, she's located in the UK. Sonia Jones Crafty Life is her channel name. So Sonia, if you're watching this, I've tagged you, honey. As far as tagging anyone else, everybody else that I know of has been tagged. So I'm just going to tag that one person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're listening to this and you haven't been tagged, consider yourself tagged. Because I don't know everyone that's out there that has or hasn't done this, or that would even feel comfortable doing this. Me? Shoot, I can talk up a blue streak. Okay. Now it says, favorite color. My favorite color is turquoise. I just love turquoise. The more bluey type turquoise. A lot of you've seen some of the things that I've shown. Some of my paintings I've shown have a lot of blue in them. So I also like electric blue, the real deep, vibrant sapphire blue. But I like blues, I guess. Different shades. I don't like real pale blues. They kind of get washed out. Okay, next question. Where are you now? I am at home in my craft room right now, chatting with some beautiful, wonderful people. How do I know you're beautiful and wonderful? Because beautiful, wonderful people are my crafting people. I just think you all have a beautiful soul. Let's see. Would you be a pirate? No. And the reason is I do not want to be seasick. I get motion sickness. And I think that I would probably be throwing up more than I would be pirating. So I would have to say no to that. I don't think that would be a pleasant life for me. If you love the water, maybe you'd enjoy something like that. Favorite food. Okay. My favorite food, and this is terrible, but it's ice cream. Yeah, you're probably saying, that's not a food, Grace. Well, in my vocabulary, it is. That's the reason I have cut it back. I am not buying the ice cream now. What I'm doing now is when my bananas get riper, I take the peeling off. I get like a gallon-sized baggie. I peel them, break them in half to fit easier, and I put as many in there as I can fit into that gallon-sized bag, and I put them in the freezer. When I have a craving for something sweet, I'll just take one of those out and wrap it in another baggie or a paper towel, whatever I have on hand, and I will eat it like that. And it's got the consistency of like a fudgesicle. They don't get hard in the freezer. And it, for some reason, will satisfy my craving for the ice cream. It's got that nice creamy consistency. Kind of weird, but it works. I guess my other favorite food, I do like spaghetti. I like noodles. Also another thing I liked, I'm half Greek. My mom, of course, was Greek, and her parents came from Greece. I never met my grandmother because she passed away when my mom was only 20. And I wasn't around at that time. I don't think she'd been married her first time either. But anyway, my daughter, there's a wonderful Greek restaurant there. And I got this one dish. Now my mind has just gone blank of what it was called. But it was delicious. Moussaka. I think it was moussaka. It was just beautiful. Oh, I love that. When I go, since it's not a real cheap place to go, that's the place I want to go when I go again. So, gotta go back there. Okay. Last thing that made you laugh. Oh my goodness. I laugh at a lot of things. My husband is usually the one that makes me laugh because he can come home and tell some of the funniest things. right offhand, I can't think of what the last thing was that might have been. And I just laugh easily sometimes. I can be in a mood that I can be watching something and I'm just cracking up. But my husband is a service manager at a car dealership. He was a mechanic many years. He did go to college, but my husband, you talk about someone with ADHD, he's got it. He can't sit still at all. He'd never be behind a desk. Anyway, he told me that this elderly woman came into the shop, and she said there is a strange picture in my car. Every time I get in my car, this thing lights up, and it's a picture of a soldier holding a gun, and I want to know why that is in my car. So my husband went and got the car, and he sat down. He, started the car up, and she pointed what it was. It was the person wearing the safety belt. She thought that was a soldier holding a rifle. I'm sorry, but it just cracked me up. He kept a straight face. Oh, and here's another one that you may be thinking, girl, you think stupid things are funny, but I thought it was hilarious. I could just see it. He had a woman come in and she said, my blinkers are not working in the back. And so my husband said, well, let me know when it starts working. Let me know when it comes on. So he got it fixed, and he had the blinker going. She's back there saying, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, over and over and over. He's mean. He waited a couple of seconds before he told her. He said, oh, okay, that's good. All he wanted her to do was say, it's on, to let him know it was working again. Okay, like I said, it doesn't take much to get me to laugh, but he usually makes me laugh. My favorite animal is a dog. I love dogs very much. They keep me company. I have 3 dogs at the moment. When I'm sad, they can just sometimes just look at me, and I just melt because I can tell that they know that I'm hurting in some way. Okay, I'm not getting a lot done here while I'm talking, am I? But this is a number 2 on this bag, and here's a number 2 right here, and I'm just going, God, that's sticky. Okay, Grace, let's get it in there straight. Okay, there we go. There's one number 2. Isn't it pretty? Oh, the sparkles on this. Wow. This is so pretty. Anyway, I do love dogs. I have had times where I'd be crying, and they would come and lick the tears off my face. I mean, it's just like nothing ever seen. Or they give you this soulful look and just come up to snuggle. And then when I get home, I may have been just gone for 15 minutes. They act like I've been gone for a year. They're jumping all over me and so happy to see me. Now, when I was a girl, I loved horses. I still do love horses. I like to look at them, their muscles and the sheen of their the hair on them. They're just beautiful. They have on their flanks, just gorgeous animals. But I love all animals. But dogs would have to be my favorite. Okay, before I go to another question, let me pick up this big one. Okay. This one, I wrote the Y on there because it was already in a baggie. So, can you see the Y? I bet you can, even if it is upside down. So I'm going to just stick that on. This is wonderful. You just take them out of the bag. And I'm going to put it up against that little line there and place it down. Look at that. Ooh, look at the shine. Wow. It doesn't take much to entertain me. And I love shine. I do love shiny things. Okay, let's see. Let's get that one on there. There we go. Look at the shine. It didn't take much to get that beautiful glitz in there. Now did it? Wow. I'm loving this. Okay, we see some A's here. Let me find the A. Here it is. The A is actually the black. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the one in the middle first. No, I'm not, because I'll probably stick my hands right in that sticky stuff. Okay, the A's are these black crystals. Look how large they are. I think this clock was $20 and something cents for all of these beautiful crystals. I think that's a bargain. Okay, let's set this down. My hand. Let's see. Will this pen pick it up? Well, let's see. Just to be. No, it doesn't, because it's too flat. That curve, there's not a curve that will fit up into that hole. Oh, maybe this one will. Nope. One of those that probably puts the things on your nails, the little wax into that would probably work, I guess. I don't know. I have one, but I don't use it too often. I was not that impressed with it, especially doing my square drills. It might work better when I do a smaller one that has round. Okay, let me get back to my next question. Ooh, there goes a rabbit. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Forget what I'm doing. Most recent injury. Okay, my most recent injury, and I don't know how I did it. Last November, my mother-in-law passed away. And before that happened, I had been sick. My asthma, I was doing a lot of coughing. So I don't know if this caused it or just what. But I was doing a lot of coughing. And the next thing I knew, my ribs were hurting so bad, I could not walk. Excuse me. So I went to the doctor. And I told him, I said, I think I might have cracked my rib or something, or broken my rib from all the coughing I've been doing. Excuse me, my goodness. And so she had me, they did an x-ray that was so painful. It hurt so bad. So I went back there, they did an x-ray. It did not show anything to be cracked, broken, or otherwise. So they gave me some pain medication, and I took that for a couple of days. That made it where I was able to at least make it to the funeral and to the visitation, you know, all of those things. But I was still hurting so badly after that. Then it went into my lower back, I guess into my pelvic area in the back. I don't know what I did. I really do not know if it was from the coughing or what. I'll go back to the doctor. Okay, the doctor wasn't there. This was close to Thanksgiving, and they had their office closed for the whole week. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to do something. So my husband took me to Urgent Doc. They couldn't figure out what was wrong, so they gave me a shot for pain. Gave me more medication for pain, something new to try. I did that. I was still in pain. I go back to the doctor and I said, could I try physical therapy or something? So she did. She wrote a prescription for me to go to physical therapy, and I went. And they asked me questions. She felt around on me, and she told me, she said, your pelvis is out of alignment or whatever. And she said many doctors don't believe that that can happen. Not only was my pelvis out of line, so were my ribs. I'd never heard of anything like that. But when she put them back in line, I thought I was going to scream. The pain was incredible. So I didn't hit her or anything, although I was feeling like it hurt so bad. Then she had me come in I went in for like 12 sessions. A TENS unit, and I bought myself my own TENS unit because every so often my back bothers me when I do something that will pull it out. So that was, I guess, my last really bad pain. And I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I got into that. Well, you were asking. It said most recent injury. I guess that was an injury. I don't know what caused it. How many TVs are in your home? 3. And of course that doesn't count me watching my laptop, because I watch a lot on that. Worst pain ever. Okay, my worst pain ever, as most women will say, would be childbirth. That was very painful. And while I was in labor, they had to give me, I got an epidural, because I was not going as quick as they were thinking they might have to do a C-section. I'm 5'2" and 3/4, and the 3/4 does make a difference. Anyway, I'm not real tall, and I was a lot smaller then. But they told me, okay, we'll do, we're going to do this. So I was still feeling pain. I didn't know why. I didn't say anything. Then my stomach started just shaking like this, back and forth. And my husband and I were in the labor room by ourselves. So he went out in the hall and he said, hey, could somebody come in here? Something's happening. So here they come, and they said, the baby's going in stress. We're going to have to do an emergency C-section. Okay. Jerry was going to, that's my husband, he was going to be in there while I had it, because they'd given me the epidural already. The doctor started sticking me with pins to see if I was numb enough to do the C-section. No, I wasn't. I felt every pinprick that he gave me. I knew that the epidural had not taken. Wrong place, Grace. Oh, no, it wasn't. I knew it hadn't taken because I was still able to feel the other pain. So he said, okay, this is going to have to be done very quickly. My husband was not allowed in there. They had to give me gas, and then they opened me up. And yes, I had to watch a movie before I was able to have my husband go in for a C-section, so I knew exactly what they were going to do. They take your organs out and all that. I think when they did it, I think they must have just thrown them around on the table or something to get her out of there in a hurry, because she did have a bowel movement when she was inside, but she did not suck any in. Thank God. She was fine. She was perfect. Then they sewed me back together. I don't know if they ever got all my pieces in the same spot. I just remember that next day they told me, okay, we're going to have you walk a few steps, and all I could think of was, you've got to be kidding me. When I stood up, okay, my daughter's 32. This was 32 years ago. When I stood up, I thought all of my insides were going to fall out and I was going to pass out. And I told them, I said, I feel like my insides are going to fall out. And she said, no, you have been stitched and you have been stapled. Nothing is going to fall out. So I did. I took a very few steps, and I said, I'm going to pass out now. So they had me back up to the bed and lay down. That was very painful. I don't know, between the childbirth and then the pain after the cesarean, like I said, I don't know what they did to my organs that were inside, but it hurt for quite a while. But you know what? As most women say, she was worth every single bit of that pain. I love her to the moon and back and forth again. So, anyway, we all have our pregnancy stories, don't we? Our labor and delivery stories. Every woman I know, you share them. But yeah, that was very, very painful. I had another pain, and this might, now that I think of it, this might contribute to some of my back pain. When I was about 16, I guess, I was riding a horse. We owned a couple of horses, and I was no cowgirl or anything. We just had them. My brother rode the horse up to a place where I was with some friends, and we didn't change the stirrups on the horse. I just got up on the horse, and my friend got on behind me. Well, the horse started pooping, and it happened to be in front of a church, and someone slapped the horse on the rear because, like, poop is going to hurt something, on the ground. So the horse took off running, and here we are trying to hang on. She's hanging on to me. I'm trying to hang on to dear life. And she started slipping. I got the horse. I pulled back on those reins. I got it to stop, and it stopped right on those front 2 hooves. We both come flying off. She hit her face, and it swelled up real big. I fell right on my tailbone. I sat on a pillow for weeks. Going to the bathroom was, let's say, quite an experience and not pleasant at all. So yeah, that was a very very painful experience. I even told the physical therapist about that, but she wasn't sure if that would have had anything to do with my pains now or not. Oh well. Okay, moving on. Do you like to dance? I like to dance in my house, and that's all. My father did not let us go dancing. He did not allow us to go anywhere. Okay, we talked about the TV stuff before. He did not allow us out of the house. He had us take piano. I took piano, violin, and organ lessons. And yes, I can play the piano and organ well. I don't play the violin anymore. I only did that for a couple of years. We were not allowed to go out. So I was never out on a dance floor and knew how to dance. But when I grew up, I was too ashamed to go out dancing because I didn't know how. But I love to dance around in the house, and at my daughter's wedding, honey, I was dancing to beat the band, and whether I knew how or not, it didn't matter. I was out moving all over that floor. And I had so much fun. Yes, I do. I love to dance. Sometimes it'll throw my back out of whack, and then I'm on my tense unit. So, yeah, it's wonderful. I love music. I like the music to get in me. It's just something I love. Are your parents still alive? No. My father has been gone for 15 years, and my mom has been gone for 9 years. My dad was very hard on us, but I loved him dearly. He was just very overprotective. He was so afraid of things going to happen to us. My mom, I thought of my mom as a saint. First of all, she put up with my dad. And then there were us kids. There were 4 of us, my 2 brothers, and I had another sister. And she was always so patient with us, didn't raise her voice. Everyone loved my mom, and I miss her every single day. There are still days that I cry because I miss her. I mean, I do miss my dad, but it was my mom that was more my rock when I was going through I have depression, anxiety, pretty bad. I do take medication that really helps it, but when I was first having it, she was the one who helped me get through that. She was there with me. She went to the store with me when I was afraid to go by myself. I had to take a leave of absence from school for 3 months because my anxiety was so bad. I could not leave the house. I could not drive. I was scared. When I first started back to work, I had started on some medications, and they were working. I was able to function better. It would still take time from that point. But she drove me to work for a while until I felt safe again. So yeah, I miss her with every fiber of my being, and I'm going to leave it at that before I start crying. Okay. Okay, we're at the last question. You're probably thinking, thank the Lord. Do you love life? Yes, I do love life. I mean, there are days that I don't love it as much because I'm feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, I can have those pity parties. I think we all can. But I love life. I love to help people when I can. That's one reason I like doing my giveaways. And I try to be as fair as I can when I do those, but I love to help people. I love people. I don't really like being around people because I get nervous. But like with you guys, you know, people don't think you can make friends on YouTube and the internet. And I find that to be a bunch of rubbish. Now, yeah, there are some people out there that will use you. I guarantee you there are those people. But you know what? They will be found out in time. That will, you know, don't let people use you and walk over you. I've had it happen to me so many times, and I think it's because of my nature. But I love life. I love my husband. Unless he doesn't let me do something I want to do or buy something. I'm just teasing. I love my daughter. I love my brothers and my sister. I have the one brother that lives next door. Sometimes I would like to spank his big butt. He's older than I am. I've told you some stories about my brother Greg, and I have got a ton of them. I will share with you more later. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little bit of, yeah, I do mean a little bit. Before I get off, let me hold this up there a little bit closer. So maybe you can see the shine. But you can kind of see how I'm doing this. I think you probably are going to want to see more about how I'm going to make this into a clock. But here we are. Look at the shine. Isn't that beautiful? I just think this is going to be gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And sorry for all the clearing of the throat. But isn't it beautiful? When I have it all complete, then I'll be able to come back to you, and we'll see about putting this baby together so I can get it up on the wall. I don't think I want to put it under glass because I'm thinking that it might keep the hands from turning like they need to. But we'll see. Okay, turn my light box off. We'll see. If you have any ideas, let me know. But I'm thinking about mounting it on some foam board, just punching a hole there and putting the pieces together and the battery in. That's all you have to do is put the pieces together to do a clock. It's really not difficult. The other thing is I'm going to have to, oh, okay, I think I can see the edges where these colors are. I'm going to have to very carefully cut around there to make sure that I cut this evenly. So it'll be a square. Yeah, I'll do that. And then we'll put this baby together and see how she runs. So it's a Friday. I hope you're having a wonderful day and that you have a fantastic weekend. If you are in the Carolinas and surrounding areas, know that I'm thinking of you, praying for you, that all will be well and none of you will be harmed in any way or flooded out, because I know that is a huge fear. We had Harvey here last year. I wasn't, where I live was not close enough. We did not get flooded, but some houses around me did. We're kind of on a hill. So I know it's very scary, that wind, the rain. So you take care. Anyway, I love you guys, and I want you to know that I really mean it when I say it. I do love you guys. You take care. I'll see you again before long. Bye.